Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Horizon, the videozine of GM Financial Services. In this magazine, we keep coming out with different types of stories. And today, the theme of the story is mind over money. The role of psychology, the role of the mind in money management looks like being discussed a lot these days. However, the whole branch of this subject where we talk about psychology and link it to investing, that is not very old. And we are talking about this particular topic today because recently we lost Dr. Daniel Kahneman. The world of economics lost one of the finest brains. Incidentally, there is a pun intended in this line. Dr. Daniel Kahneman, while he won Nobel Prize in economics, he was a psychologist. And that actually opened the eyes of the world towards a new branch of economics. Let's read what the Nobel Prize website has to say about the motivation for awarding this prize to him. It says, for having integrated insights from psychological research into economic science, especially concerning human judgment and decision making under uncertainty. In short, when there is uncertainty, and which abounds in the world of money management, economics, investing, in times of uncertainty, how do people make decisions? And this uncertainty means not enough information is available. And that's the body of work that Dr. Daniel Kahneman initiated. In 2002, when this prize was awarded to him, the world took notice. And in last 20 years, this subject has sort of become the mainstream subject. Call it behavioral finance, call it behavioral economics, call it psychology of money. We'll quote two interesting ideas that he propagated based on his research and immense body of work. One is popularly known as prospect theory. And this prospect theory suggests that a gain of 1 rupee gives certain amount of pleasure, but a loss of that 1 rupee and the pain associated with loss is double the amount of pleasure that one got. In other words, a loss is twice as painful as the pleasure you derive in case of a gain. And this prospect theory then leads people to become loss averse. And this loss aversion eventually leads to people booking profits early or holding on to losing investments for long in the hope that it will revive. And this is a classic behavior that we see all over. The other idea was about a particular study. And Daniel Kahneman and his colleague Amos Tversky, they were working at Tel Aviv in Israel, working for the Tel Aviv University. And during one of the discussions, one of the research, the discussion was about the World War II. And some interesting insights came. The Allied forces observed one particular pattern that the warplanes which were going in the enemy territory and returning, of course, There was a lot of collateral damage, a lot of planes were being lost, a lot of pilots lost lives. But the planes that came back and the teams started analyzing those warplanes. And what they found was they could see the bullet marks or the attack marks on certain parts of the plane's body. And going by that data, somebody suggested that those parts should be reinforced so that we don't lose more planes. Interestingly, somebody else came up and suggested, don't reinforce those parts, because even after being hit, they allowed the plane to come back. Reinforce those parts which probably were hit, due to which the planes were lost. And that means the planes which returned, look at those areas which were not hit, identify the weak spots there and reinforce those. And with that, they could reduce the casualties. A phenomenal approach to look at the available data in a different light, from a different perspective. And that's how, when data is insufficient, how you make decisions makes all the difference. In the words of Dr. Daniel Kahneman, when it comes to the world of investing, he says, psychology has a story to tell about investing, and it is different from one economics tells. Economics typically believes about existence of a rational man, somebody who collects all the data, weighs the risks and returns properly, and only then takes the right decisions in one's own interest. Psychology says, well, maybe or may not be. RIP Dr. Daniel Kahneman. The world owes you a lot.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.